What's going on, everyone? I am here for Meat Directing Part 2. Now, I think maybe later this year I'll do a full comprehensive series, like every single little detail broken down. I'll probably need to bring in someone else who's meat directed so like we can make sure we really cover everything, because there is just so much and there's so many options and there's so many things you can add. And that's kind of when I started this series. I'm like, there's just so many things. And again, in the bio, there'll be a link to the Meat Director spreadsheet and checklist. The checklist is comprehensive. The checklist has shit you don't even need. Okay, the checklist has everything. It has my full operations checklist. That's got everything. The spreadsheet's got all the economics. The spreadsheet is literally plug and play. You can just everything into there. But what I wanted to do is I'm directing meat this week, so I really wanted to everything's fresh in my mind. I can just give it to you directly, exactly what I'm doing. But to know what I'm doing this week, you got to look at the big picture. Now, this week's actually kind of perfect. It's a smaller meet. It's 24 lifters. 24 lifters is, for me as a director, is the perfect amount. Quick and easy. It's a couple $1,000s in profit. It's really the, and don't get me wrong, listen, if you're doing these things, which are huge operations and very stressful and a lot of work, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm doing this, so I'm going to say that I deserve to be compensated, blah, blah, blah. Again, I want to encourage people to get into meat directing because it can be a good business, right? We want these things to be good businesses because it's going to attract entrepreneurial people who are smart to get into the business. And that's kind of the way I attack things, right? I got into powerlifting meets because I saw the opportunity from a business standpoint. And, we've done nothing but higher and higher quality events every single year. So the lifters have benefited from my entrepreneurial ambitions for sure. Now, let me get to the topic at hand. To know what I'm doing this week, you got to look at the big picture. All right. I planned the previous year last summer. Our schedule for this year got released last summer for 2025. And the same thing's coming up right now. I have all my dates for next year done. I'm done. So I like to plan in advance. Obviously, I've got so many things going on between the meets and the gym and my personal portfolio and stuff like that. In my personal life, I have a really big family, again. So we have holidays all the time, and I like to travel as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I can live a very full life now, I guess. So there's a lot going on. So I like to get everything just done. I'm done. I think this week, after this week, I'm probably gonna lock myself in and just literally work and get the entire next year done. So there's 3 things you need to do to basically launch. So you need to obtain the sanctions. That's really easy. I'm with Powerlifting America. It's really easy to get a sanction, especially if you're already a qualified director. If you're not a qualified director, you're going to have to reach out. They're going to kind of vet you a little bit, make sure it's a good fit, make sure you have everything you need. And then it's a really easy process. And right now, Powerlifting America, if you're tested, is really the only fed I can honestly recommend. It'd be really risky for you as a new director to get into the game with another fed, because all those feds aren't growing the way Powerlifting America is, and that could put you at potentially a financial risk if you don't sell out your comp. Now, on the untested side, I don't really know what's going on. USPA seen a resurgence. PLU's kind of I don't really know what's going on with them. Abs is kind of just professional style side stuff, and they're renting venues and they're doing bigger stuff. So I don't even know if you could really get involved if you didn't have a big operation anyway. Maybe reach out to Jay, reach out to Abs, see what they say about that. But let me adjust this camera a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay. Anyway, so you need to obtain your sanctions. And then build out the lifting cast. Now, this probably needs its own video to build out a lifting cast. And actually, that's honestly something I should probably just do. My tripod's falling. That's honestly something I should do. Just do a little video, screen record me building out a lifting cast. You build out the lifting cast. I have kind of a template I use. And so what I like to do when I build out these lifting casts is I put every single piece of information that could possibly exist into the lifting cast. I don't like sending emails. Emails go to spam. Some people, especially younger people, don't even read their emails. So it's really, sorry if I'm adjusting this. And they really, it's just not it's an effective means of communication, but it's like really easy just to put everything in the lifting cast and then just put a little disclaimer. I don't even have this disclaimer, but I thought about it. All relevant information can be found below. Emails will only be sent out if changes happen, right? I think that's probably the right way to do it. Everything's there. Everything's on the sign up page. It exists. It's evergreen. It's always there. You don't have to send multiple emails or anything. So that's kind of how I like to do it. And then the third, we'll practice my conclusions, and that's pretty much it for that. Next, we've got make artworks. I make all my artworks myself. I've kind of become really proficient with Canva. It really doesn't take me long to make an artwork. I kind of just come up with an idea. I maybe look up at a couple of ideas. And actually, I use ChatGPT. You can use AI, but you use AI as a tool and mix it around. Make sure you follow the artwork guidelines. Our guidelines are pretty good, and you don't need pre-approval, which is nice. In other federations, you need pre-approval, and that like delays the whole process. It's taken me weeks and weeks with other federations to get artwork approval with PA. You just need to follow the guidelines, and just make sure you follow the guidelines, read through them. It's pretty obvious, and most things you do are pretty effective. Make sure artwork is good. This one was AI, actually. So AI made the background of this, and then the MPG Madness was just a font I picked in Canva, and then I put the Piloting America logo over it. The colorized version is actually really cool. And then I did there's a theme that goes with this of like a future techno battle. There is some branding that can go, you can do branding, you can do stuff to make your meets cooler and funner. But yeah, you can do that. You just need to do those three things. And then you have your entire 26 schedule, and then you drop the schedule. Okay, schedule drop, right? Sports, the NFL does a huge thing where they do a whole schedule announcement video. The schedule, they're announcing the schedule. They do a whole video thing. So I drop it on socials. I have a big email list for all the people who have ever done my meets. I have a huge email list. And then local gyms. I'm friends with all the local gym owners, within reason. And so posters on local gyms, all those things at the schedule drop, build some hype. You just put it on people's radar, right? And then the schedule's out there, and then promote. If there's not a theme with everything I say, I'm gonna say this again, I'm gonna repeat it, because it all just fits into the thing. People do not think about your business every hour of every day. They have lives, they have 15 other things. You need to constantly be reminding people about your stuff, right? And if you don't believe in your stuff enough to constantly remind people, you shouldn't be doing it. You aren't passionate enough. You gotta constantly remind people about what you're doing, about what's good enough. And if you don't feel that your thing's good enough to promote, then fix your thing, make it better. Right? I'm always telling people about what I'm doing because I personally believe, I pour my heart and my soul into everything. I personally believe that everything I'm doing is really, really good, especially the meets. There are objectively some better gyms than mine. Not really in the area, but outside the area. So sometimes, you feel a little inadequate, blah, blah, blah. But as far as the meets go, no one runs a better local meet than we do. I want to tell everyone about what we do in terms of local meets, and especially this year coming up with the tour. It's gonna be really awesome. So promote, constantly be reposting. I repost my local meets multiple times a week on the stories. I constantly want to get attention. I send emails every week. Promote. Okay. Once it gets to about 30 days out from a meet, that's when I institute my 30-day plan. Okay, it's not really, it's like my 30-day process. When I'm 30 days out, I start my 30-day process. In that first week, when we're 30 days out, I get all the following done. I make sure we're adequately staffed. I contact all my staff. Most of my staff are really reliable, and I've kind of built them up and cultivated them. They're the most reliable ones get priority. I get staff, I order shirts. So something unique I'm doing this year, I used to order shirts for individual events. I'm no longer doing that. I'm putting together a tour shirt, and it's going to have starting in 2026. I put together a tour shirt. It's going to have all the dates on the tour, and we're just going to sell that as the shirt. And so what that means is I can buy 500 shirts for $3 a pop and just be done for the year. And then if something changes, so be it. But it's going to be a cool rock tour. Really excited about that. And then awards. I've been switching pretty much everything to team awards. I don't really do a ton of individual awards. I do think I want to do some sort of keepsake. So when it is someone's first meet, they have something they can take with them and bring with them, and that's a keepsake. I got to start working on something like that. I don't really think that's a bad idea. But that's the 30 days out. 30 days out because it takes time to get shirts. It takes time to get, well, let me put it in your own context if you're a local director. You've got shirts. You need to order those 30 days out so you get them on time. Staff, you want to make sure you have adequate time to appropriately staff. And make sure, let me talk about staffing real quick. Always overstaff. Okay, so what I do is I make sure I have 4 to 5 referees. I make sure I have 7 to 8 spotters and loaders because you need a minimum of 5. And what I do is I have a cut policy. And so what happens is I pay $100 a session, which breaks down between 20 and 30 bucks an hour, depending on how long the meet takes, which is really good pay. And then if we overstaff, I have a cut policy. So I pay you 20 bucks, or I give you a free day pass, and then you just go work out. We have a great gym. The gym is open during the meets. It's a large facility. So that's always been my policy is to have that. And then obviously, like someone drove an hour to come help, we give them preference over someone who's just a local gym member who's coming to volunteer. We say, hey, here's 20 bucks. Thank you. It's better to have more staff than not enough, and just make sure you take care of people and respect their time. But yeah, that's the 30-day plan. And then I really, until like right now, this is kind of what I thought about it. Right now we're 7 days out, okay? Athlete email goes out tomorrow, the Sunday before. Tickets, the ticket link is in there. You can set up ticketing if you want beforehand. I've kind of gone back and forth about this. I prefer just, I don't have any logic to back this up. I prefer just to sell tickets to the door, just make it easy. We charge 20 bucks for tickets. I think that's like the sweet spot price. Any more than that's too much. Any less than that, you're not really extracting value. But yeah, and then the live stream link is on there. I'll probably do a whole video. I mean, I'm gonna start piling up these video ideas, a whole video about live streaming. I'm by no means a live stream expert, but there's really no good content out there. And I think there is room in the market for good content about a single camera live stream. I've gotten really efficient at the way I live stream. I found a really great camera that works really well, that's really simple to operate. And then we plug, basically if you don't do audio, you can plug that camera right into your computer, right into a USB-C, and you're pretty much done. There's really not much else that goes on with that. And obviously you can add layers to your live stream. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're 7 days out. And then I think I'm gonna do another video, I think actually Friday, more vlog style, which will have the full day of. Like I'll probably do it in the morning. I'll have the whole day of list. And I want to make the series good in the sense that it's not just what I do, because what I do is kind of systematized now. Everyone's very experienced, and that's just not the case when you first start directing. When you first start directing, like things don't go right. There's a lot of things that you could be missing. And so I just want to make sure it's an accurate reflection of what the demands actually are, as opposed to like, how I do things. How I do things is not how it's going to go for you. So I just want to make sure that it's good in that sense. If you have any questions, you can DM me. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to refer you to the right place for that stuff. And again, the checklist is down there for that kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. And I'll see you guys next time.